It's amazing how sometimes the most universe-altering events are captured in just a handful of words. Today, we're going to unpack one of those moments from the book of Revelation. It's a single sentence that, honestly, seems pretty simple at first glance. But as we're about to see, it holds the entire story of redemption. So, let's dive right in.
And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Just a guy taking a book. But what if I told you that in these few words you have the grand finale of ancient prophecies, the very definition of divine authority, and the absolute turning point of all human history?
That's the big question, isn't it? So we're going to put on our detective hats and treat this verse like a crime scene. We'll examine every single clue, the verbs, the nouns, the symbols, to figure out exactly why this one action is the pivot point for everything.
All right, first things first. Let's talk about the action. The verse is really built on two simple but incredibly profound verbs that tell us what actually happened. We're going to start with the very first one.
And he came. Now, when you hear that, you might just picture someone walking from point A to point B. But oh, it's so much more than that. This word signals a monumental arrival, a real shift in the fabric of reality itself. So who came? And what does it really mean that he came?
So, in the original Greek, the word used here is erchomai, and this isn't just about simple movement. It means to appear, to arise, to come into being. This is the language of the incarnation, the eternal Son of God stepping right into human history as a man, Jesus.
And if that sounds familiar, it should. The Apostle John nails this exact idea perfectly right here. The arrival of the Lamb in Revelation 5 is the climax of his entire earthly mission. He came into the world, lived among us, and now he comes before the throne, his work totally complete.
So he came, and then what did he do? He took the book. And again, just like his arrival, this action is anything but passive or casual. It is a deliberate, powerful, and totally voluntary act. Get this wasn't something just handed to him. It was something he claimed.
The word for took here is lambano in the Greek, and it's just packed with meaning. It's not just grabbing something, it's about taking something up, carrying it, taking it upon yourself. It implies willingly shouldering a massive responsibility. Jesus took up our sin, he took up his cross, and now he takes up this scroll.
And this connects so perfectly with what Jesus himself said, doesn't it? He made it crystal clear nobody took his life from him. He laid it down and took it up again by his own authority. In the exact same way, he now takes the book, showing he has both the right and the willingness to see it through.
Okay, so we've got the actions down, a purposeful arrival and a willing claiming. Now let's switch gears and look at the objects involved, because they happen to be two of the most powerful symbols in the entire Bible.
So first up, the book. And we're not talking about just any paperback here. It's a scroll, and it's sealed with 7 seals. Just a little earlier in the chapter, all of heaven and earth are weeping because absolutely no one is found worthy to even open the thing. So what in the world does it represent?
This thing is a powerhouse of symbolism. On one level, it's the title deed to all of creation. It's the legal record of God's entire plan for redemption. But it's also something else, something really powerful. It's like a bill of divorce from the old covenant of the law.
So think about it like this. When Jesus takes that scroll, he's basically closing the book, literally, on the old system. That old way, based on law and endless sacrifices, the one that only really showed people their sin, is being officially ended. And in its place, he's kicking off the new covenant, one based on pure grace, his one perfect sacrifice, and the free gift of righteousness.
And here's a detail you absolutely cannot miss. Where does he take this monumental scroll from? Not just from God, but specifically from his right hand. This little detail is absolutely critical. It tells us everything we need to know about the kind of authority we're talking about here.
You see, all through the Bible, the right hand of God isn't just a physical location, it's the place of ultimate power, the highest honor and sovereign authority. It is the seat of all dominion. So to take something from the right hand of God means you're being entrusted with that very power.
And this wasn't a new idea either. It was prophesied way back in Psalm 110. It was always the plan. The Son was always destined to sit at the right hand, sharing in the Father's authority. And right here, in Revelation, we see him stepping up to fully and finally claim that role.
All right. We've taken it apart piece by piece. The actions, the objects, all of it. Now for the really cool part. Let's put it all back together and see the full, absolutely breathtaking picture of what is happening in this one single verse.
So check this out. Let's replay the scene with our new understanding. The eternal Word, who became the perfect sacrificial lamb, comes forward. He willingly takes up the title deed of redemption, the document that cancels the old way. He receives it from the ultimate seat of power, giving him all authority to execute judgment and mercy. And all of it, every last bit, is in perfect fulfillment of the Father's will.
But wait, there's more. We can go even deeper. Because this moment isn't just about a transfer of authority or a legal transaction. It's a profound statement about the very nature of God Himself. This is so important. This is not some kind of cosmic power grab. The Son isn't seizing power from the Father. This is the Son and the Father working in perfect, seamless, absolute unity. Jesus isn't acting as some kind of rival. He's acting as the perfect expression of the Father's will, the one who delighted to do it from the very beginning.
And you see this beautiful theme of unity woven through the entire Bible, don't you? It's not a one-off thing. From the Psalms that prophesied His willing obedience, to His own prayer in John 17 that we would be one with them, to Paul's letters explaining how He reconciled us to God, this one moment in Revelation is the grand fulfillment of it all.
Okay, we've gone super deep into the grammar, the symbols, the theology, but let's zoom out. Why does any of this matter? What's the big takeaway for us?
Here it is. This one verse, Revelation 5:7, is like the entire gospel packed into a single powerful moment. It is the point where the full, terrifying weight of God's justice and the incredible, unbelievable depth of His mercy are placed into the hands of the only one in all of existence worthy to handle both, the Lamb who was slain.
In the end, you can think of this verse as a master key. It doesn't just open one door. It helps unlock the whole story of Scripture. It proves that sometimes the biggest, most profound truths are hiding in the smallest of verses. And that just leaves us with one final thought. What other keys are out there, just waiting to be found?